Hi, welcome back to Hollie Hobbies. Let's craft a fall pumpkin wreath that is a delightful way to welcome the autumn season into your home. This wreath allows you to express your creativity while adding a festive touch to your front door. Whether you're a seasoned crafter or just starting out, this project is both fun and rewarding. So gather your supplies and let's have some fun crafting this fall pumpkin wreath together. Hi, welcome back to Hollie Hobbies. Today we are going to have some more fun with the pumpkin Dollar Tree wreath frames, and this time you will need 2 frames, some material of your choice. I'm using a chunky yarn and some clips, a couple zip ties, some hot glue, and at the end we'll embellish our design with some florals. So we're going to take our material, this is about 23 by 23, and we're going to place it over the top of our pumpkin. And then we'll take our other frame and place it right on top as well. So I'm going to start by smoothing out the top, and we're going to place a little hole right inside that fabric and zip tie the 2 frames together at the top and at the bottom. And we are going to make it as smooth as we can up front here, up top, and then we're going to work our way down. So let's go ahead and get these zip tied together at the top. Just gonna make a little tiny clip, just enough to get our zip tie through. And I'm going to go around both of the frames and do another clip on the other side. And we're going to zip tie these 2 frames together at the top. And I'm going to clip that off. Okay, so there is our first zip tie. And now we want to zip tie these 2 frames together at the bottom, just like we did. So we're going to make a little hole. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife. And I want to be able to get my zip tie in. And I'm going to bring it under the 2 frames. And I'll bring another hole around the other side. And we'll zip tie the 2 frames together at the bottom. And go ahead and clip that off. All right. So we have them zip tied at the top and at the bottom. And now what we're going to do is we're going to glue our material around our pumpkin. And as we're gluing, you can either use clothespins or clips, and we're going to need those to hold our material until it dries. So now let's get started gluing our material around our pumpkin. So we're going to flip our pumpkin over, and we're going to make 2 slits around the side of the stem, leaving about a 1/2 inch. And we're going to start by stretching our material, and as we work our way around, we want to stretch it nice and tight, and we're going to work our way down our pumpkin. I'm going to leave my silicone mat there because it really helps keep my the glue off of my mat. So we're going to just work our way with our glue. We're going to work little sections at a time. And we're going to add the glue right onto the bar. And we'll come down a little bit here. And then we're just going to stretch our material around both of those bars. And we'll use a clip to hold that in place as we work our way around our pumpkin frames. And so we're just going to take a few sections at a time, going around the frame and taking our time to get our material pulled nice and tight. And we're working our way around. This is very simple. You just take your time doing little sections at a time and getting your material nice and pulled and using your clip or a clothespin. And now I'm coming down by my zip tie, and I'm going to have some little pleats and some gathers down here, and that's okay. So we've made it around the whole wreath, and let's flip it over. And we have it pulled nice and tightly, and we have a few gathers here at the bottom. And look at how pretty that looks so far. So now we can go ahead and take off our clips, and we're going to go ahead and trim this excess material on the back side of the frame. So we'll just go ahead and trim off some of this bulk here. And I'm going to go ahead and do this around. Let's go ahead and cut this material close to the stem. And I'm going to go ahead and get this material glued around the stem like that. So now we're going to take a toilet paper tube here, the cardboard, and we're going to just cut it just like so. And what we're going to do is make an extension. So we're going to just kind of roll it where it's going to taper towards the top there. And you want to make sure it's going to fit around. So something like that. And I'm going to take some tape, and we're going to add some Scotch tape here. So we're going to place it. We have it tapering a little bit smaller towards the top. And when we get it the way we want it, we can go ahead and add some tape to tape that together there. So see how it's wider here, and it just kind of goes a little bit more narrow. And now we're going to attach it. So I'm going to take a paper hole puncher, and I'm going to come up a little bit on the stem, and I'm going to go through each of the sections here and punch some holes. And we're going to place our tube. And what we're going to do is we're going to First, we're going to come under that first bar. And you're just going to work your zip tie. So I'm bringing it under that first pumpkin bar, and I'm going to do that on both sides. And we're going to place our stem on and bring it through both of those holes. And the same with the other one. There we go. And we're going to zip tie our paper tube onto the top of this pumpkin stem. And we'll just pull that notch so it's towards the stem. Okay. And we'll clip those off. So now we've added our extension for our stem. And then we will be covering this with our braided cord or jute or whatever we choose to finish our stem with. So now we're going to add some finishing touches to our pumpkin with our chunky yarn. So the first thing we're going to do is we don't want our yarn to unravel, so I'm going to use some Scotch tape where I choose to cut the end of the yarn, and that way it's going to keep that from unraveling. So we're going to start by wrapping our pumpkin stem, and you can use, I'm just going to use this yarn because I think it's going to be really cute using the same material in our design. And we're going to wrap our stem. I'm just going to try to stick this first part under towards the back. And I'm just going to pull that end out, and we can glue that to our stem, to our cardboard tube to hold it. And then we're just going to wrap our stem. We're just going to go around and around with our yarn and gluing it every so often. I'm going to start with some glue over those zip ties. Start it so it stays close to our frame. And now I'm just going to take my yarn and go around my stem. And now I'm just going to glue and spiral the yarn towards the top, and then I'll stick the end in the middle. So we're just going to keep working our way. And now I'll be adding the glue onto the yarn. And I'm going, before we cut anything off, we want to make sure that we add our tape around the yarn. And then that way it will prevent it from unraveling on us. So we're just going to finish this up here. Spiraling our yarn. And then when we get close to being done, we're just going to poke it in the middle. And now I'll just kind of poke that end in the middle there. And now we have our chunky yarn pumpkin stem. So the next thing we're going to do is we will be covering these bars here with our chunky yarn. So we're just going to measure each bar. I'm going to tuck this in underneath the bottom. Can actually use one of our clips here to hold it. And we're going to measure, because every bar is going to be different, and we want to have enough so the end's going to glue towards the back. And place our tape around like so. And we're going to do this on every bar. We're just going to measure them individually, add the tape, and then we will be gluing them on top of the bar. And then at the end, we're going to glue one around the perimeter of our pumpkin. So let's go ahead and glue the first one. And we're just going to go ahead and place our glue at the end. And we'll go ahead and come over the top, keeping our glue on that wire frame. And for the first section right here, we're going to hold it there. So now we're just going to very carefully, keeping our glue on that wire bar, we are going to cover our bar with this beautiful chunky yarn, trying to get it right in the middle of that yarn so it has nice coverage there. And you can't see the bar on each side, so this was a good choice of yarn. It's thick enough. And we're going to make our way across this bar. We're almost at the end here. And now we're going to go ahead and flip this upside down. Place our glue onto that tape area. And bringing this around the back side. And we'll add our clip to hold that down. And when you flip it over, this is what we have. So we're going to go ahead and do that same thing for each of our bars here. So I'm going to go through and we're going to do the same thing for each of the bars. Starting our first one on the back, coming around the top, and we'll use our clip to hold that while we glue the next yarn. So now we have wrapped all of our 6 bars, and now what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the outer part of our ring. So we're just going to take our yarn and wrap it around the perimeter of our frame. Going around the outside. And we've come around full circle here, so let's go ahead and tape our end off. And give that a cut. So now I have a floral pick that I'm just going to cut off different parts of it that I want. And we're just going to make a little embellishment here. And then I have this pretty ribbon that I'm going to make a bow for the center. Just a very simple bow. And we're going to add that with some neutral embellishments. So I'm going to start by gluing my leaves on. I made a very simple bow, and I think that ribbon is just so pretty. And we are just going to glue our bow down right here in the center. And we'll just add some hot glue. And we will slide our bow right there. And then we'll add a little embellishment in the middle of our bow. So you can leave your wreath like this and have that as your finished design. I decided I wanted to add something fun down at the bottom, and I think I've been playing around with some different things, and this is a little pick that I get from the Dollar Tree. I use these in my carrot wreath kits, and I thought that this little pink orangish color would really complement the pumpkin color. So I'm gonna do something like this. I've been playing around, and I think this is what I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue these down into my design. And I'm going to take 2 of these little pods and we're going to incorporate these into the design as well. And then we'll take a little piece of that and put it in our bow. We'll do something like that. And you just play around and have fun with this part. This is one of my favorite parts, but sometimes it takes me a while to get the look that I'm going after. And I did have to play around quite a bit till I decided on what I wanted to do. And we'll just add a couple little of these pods to tie in the top part of our design. And I just think that looks so pretty, and it just really just kind of breaks it up really nicely. And then for our last finishing touch, I want to take a piece of this and add it to the top of our design here. And that completes our design for today. I think it turned out super cute, and I hope you had fun creating your own pumpkin wreath with me today. And in the description box down below, you will find the link to my Amazon store where I list all my favorite crafting supplies that I use in my tutorials. And please subscribe to my channel. If you ring that bell, you'll receive notifications when I release new tutorials. And please leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this tutorial. It really helps me and my channel. YouTube will push my content out to more people. Thanks for watching Hollie Hobbies, from my heart to yours. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow me for more wreath and crafting ideas. Thanks for watching Hollie Hobbies, from my heart to yours.